Today, I want to take just a little bit of time to talk about actually what we talked about at our Wednesday youth meeting. We looked at the golden rule and the silver rule. And now the golden rule, most of us probably have heard before. It says, do unto others as you would have them do to you. And so we'll talk about that here in a minute. The silver rule, on the other hand, is not the opposite, but instead of do unto others, this says, do not do to others what you do not want them to do to you. And, I've heard this idea before. I personally don't know if I've ever heard it referred to as the silver rule. Maybe you have. But as we talked about this, we realized some things. First of all, we realized that there are things in our lives that we don't want others to do. We don't want them to happen to us. And so if we don't want them to happen to us, why would we think that we should do them to other people? And so this got us to the point of realizing that in order for us to follow this rule, literally, we don't have to do anything. Just sitting on the couch follows this rule because we are not doing to others anything. But see, the Bible talks about the golden rule in the New Testament. Jesus talks about doing to others as you would have them do to you. And so when we look at this, there is a really big difference between not doing and doing. Like we said, not doing just means you can sit there. But doing to others as you would have them do to you, that takes action. That takes thought. That takes a desire. That takes actually participating in what's going on. And if we really want to love someone, not only are we acting on it, not only are we doing something, we also have to understand what the other person needs. Let me give you an example. There are a lot of different ways that we receive love, and each person kind of connects with love in a little bit of a different way. Maybe you've heard of the 5 Love Languages book. And when we talked about this idea of love, there was one type of love that some of the students appreciated or felt most connected with was the idea of quality time. But even though multiple people said that quality time was a way that they feel loved, when we asked more specifically, well, what does that look like? We got different answers. Some people said that quality time, in order for them to feel loved, it's like a game night with family or friends. Other people said it was just a chance for people to come together and hang out. That was quality time. Someone else even mentioned that quality time is having someone who will actually listen to you. You see, so even in the fact that all these people said quality time is what they desired, they each received love within that quality time a little bit differently. So in order for us to do unto others what we would want them to do to us, we have to get to know them. We have to participate with them. We have to spend time understanding what they like, what they don't like, and how they can feel connected. Because see, if I want to show love to someone, I need to make sure I'm doing it so that they receive that love, so that they understand that that's what I'm trying to do. I can't just love in the way that I want. I have to be aware of how that is being perceived by other people. And so when we look at this idea of following the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do to you, we recognize that this requires a sacrifice on ourselves. It requires us actually participating, and it requires us to do some work even ahead of time to get to know how we can show love to other people. And even though that is difficult, it doesn't stop there. Ultimately, when we look at this idea of doing to others as we would have them do to us, we have to understand that just because we do to other people what we want them to do to us doesn't mean that they will respond in kind. And so what we need to think about when it comes to this idea is that we have to trust God. We have to trust that He is going to give us what we need. That even if no one else will take care of us in the way that we feel we need taken care of, He's there. And because He's there, we can still do to others what we want them to do to us. That's not easy. I understand that, but it is something that I need to strive for. And that's something you need to strive for as well. Of being willing to trust God in such a way that I can pour myself out in doing to others what I want them to do to me, knowing that they might not reciprocate, but God will still take care of me. God will still hold me up. God will still provide what I need, even if others won't. And so that's our challenge. Challenge to think about what I need to do to follow this golden rule. What sacrifices do I need to make so that I can make this a part of my life? And am I willing to humble myself and trust God in a way that will allow Him to take care of me, even when humans fail? And then when humans fail, to be encouraged that God's taking care of me so I can still do to others what I would want them to do to me. So this week, think about ways that you can be love to other people. Think about some ways that you can do to them what you would want. And then don't just think about it, but take some action. Take one chance to show God's love to someone else.